Bernie Sanders snapped at CNN host Dana Bash. This is a really interesting video, so let's watch and then I want to come back and explain why.
Let's talk about politics here and what's going on in Wisconsin. Yesterday, the Clinton campaign joined an effort started by Green Party candidate Jill Stein for an official recount in Wisconsin. Hillary Clinton's general counsel said that they were doing this without any actionable evidence of hacking the voting system. Do you support that recount as well?
It's taking place. The Green Party has the legal right to do it. We have recounts probably almost every election. There's a recount. No one expects there to be profound change, but there's nothing wrong with going through the process. The issue right now, it seems to me at this particular moment in American history, is whether Donald Trump is going to keep faith with the promises that he made to the American people. As you'll remember during the campaign, Dana, he talked about the fact that he would take on the pharmaceutical industry and lower drug prices in this country. And I'm a little bit nervous, but I haven't heard too much about that since he's been elected. He said that Medicare should be able to negotiate prices with the drug companies, that we should be able to import cheaper medicine from Canada and other countries. I look forward to doing that. He made a very big deal about saying that he was the only Republican candidate in the primary to say that he would not cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Let's see if he keeps his word, and many of us are going to demand that he does keep the promises that he made.
I know you will, but just to follow up on the recount, Trump's senior advisor Kellyanne Conway tweeted this. She said, "Look who can't accept the election results. Hillary Clinton supporters call for a vote."
This is exactly the issue. Nobody cares. The Green Party has the legal right. Republicans have requested. I think the governor of North Carolina right now is thinking about doing a recount. That's a legal right. They do it. I don't think that Hillary Clinton, who got 2 million more votes than Mr. Trump in the popular election, thinks that it's going to transform the election. But do people have the legal right to do it? Yeah, we do. The real issue now, in my view, is to focus on what we do to rebuild a disappearing middle class, deal with income and wealth inequality. Let's focus on the issues of importance to the American people.
Okay, I love that because he's asked a question that's like, it's not really all that substantive. It's one of those issue of the week questions like, ooh, Jill Stein wants a recount, and then Hillary Clinton was like, hey, count me in for that recount. And look, I don't think it's going to change the election at all, but if you want to do it, whatever, go ahead. I guess there are laws and rules that say if you're within a certain margin, well, then you're legally allowed to get a recount. So whatever, it's fine. I guess you could do it, but I don't think it's going to change the results. And I think Bernie's position is similar to mine. And he's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, go ahead and do the recount. Who even cares what my take on it is? Who cares? But Hillary Clinton already conceded. So are we going to have a conversation about the issues, or are we not going to talk about the issues? So he's asked a question about the recount, and he's basically like, fucking gross, non-substantive question away from me. And he immediately pivots to all right, now let me tell you about the different plans and issues with Medicare. President-elect Trump said that he was going to do a bunch of good things for the American people, and we're going to hold him accountable. We're going to make sure he lowers drug prices like he said he'd do. We're going to make sure he doesn't cut Social Security. So he's asked a question that's kind of non-substantive. Although I get, I don't think, this is why I love Bernie. I think he's even more hardline than me, because that's a question that I think is acceptable for a CNN host to ask. But when he pivots away from it and starts talking about substance, that should have been her cue to be like, okay, that's his answer. His answer is whatever, do the recount, but it ain't going to change dick. But she pressed once more. And that's when he's like, Donna, let me tell you something. The American people their wages need to be raised. We need to get them health care. We need better education. We need to stop the student loan debt crisis. He just goes off on substance. But this is why Bernie Sanders is great. And this is why, yet again, this is story number 2 we did today of CNN host Dana Bash being a mess. But that's why she has the job. She has the job because she's not going to rock the boat. She's not going to question the narrative. The U.S. government, when King Abdullah in Saudi Arabia died, it was, oh my God, he's a cautious reformer. She hook, line, and sinker. Same thing for her. She'll be, whatever the government says, I will repeat. When Fidel Castro died, brutal dictator, most brutal ever. And so she frames a question earlier. We covered the story. She framed that question to Bernie Sanders. Is it okay for the president to offer condolences to the family of this brutal dictator who died? Hey, Dana, what did you say when King Abdullah died, who was a brutal dictator, way worse than Castro? And the government called him a cautious reformer. Did you press President Obama on that? You say, how dare you say that? No, because whatever power says, you're a stenographer to the government and the establishment and the elite and power. So now the establishment wants you to talk about, oh, the recount. Let's talk about this and make this an issue, even though it's really not going to be one, because nothing's going to fucking happen. Even if there is a recount, there's still going to be President-elect Trump. And Bernie's like, that's it. I've had it. I can't. I refuse to come on here and fucking have these dumbass horse race conversations. Ooh, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Like, the election's fucking over. Again, have the recount, whatever. But, like, stop pretending like, oh, this is what people care about. No, like Bernie says, people are like, hey, I can't afford my fucking medical bills. It'd be nice if the media covers the underlying issues as to why that is and maybe pushes the politicians to fix it. But no, in the fucking Twilight Zone world we live in, the one of the few remaining honest politicians in the country has to press the media host on substance. It's supposed to be the media pressing him on substance. Hey, Bernie, why is it that the government has abandoned the people on issue X, Y, and Z? Bernie would love that question. Well, you know, Dana, we've been fighting for this, but we have people who are bought by the corporations who are blocking it. These politicians do not look out for the people. She should be pressing him on policy substance. Instead, he flips it and he has to press the media host on policy substance. Like, why are you asking me about a fucking recount? You know my opinion. Whatever, have the recount. It ain't going to change anything. Now can we talk about issues? Issues. She's like, yeah, no, anyway, let me press you more on shit that doesn't really matter all that much. It's sad, man. It's sad. But hey, I shouldn't be complaining, because from a very selfish perspective, this is why we do well. This is why we do well. Because people turn on CNN and that's what they get. Hey, Bernie, what are your thoughts on a recount? Okay, look, fine, do it, but here's the reality. President Trump made all these promises. We have to hold him accountable and make sure that he does the right thing for working people. Anyway, Bernie, that's nice. Back to the recount. What do the kids say about that nowadays? I believe there's a term for it. People say head ass. Head ass very much.